My child, stop what you're doing and listen, for what I am about to say carries the weight of eternity. You have prayed for answers, but now I must give you truth, and truth rarely comes without a sting. This might hurt, but you need to hear it. You've numbed yourself with distractions, silenced conviction with comfort, and called survival peace. But I am calling you higher. I am coming after the places in you that no one else dares to touch. Do not turn away. This moment is sacred, for I am about to confront what's been quietly killing your soul. You felt it, haven't you? That stirring deep within, a quiet unease that you couldn't quite explain. The world around you kept moving, but something inside you began to tremble. That was me. That was my whisper before the wood. You thought it was just life pressing in, another season of stress, another moment of confusion. But no, my child, it was the sound of heaven drawing near. Before I ever allowed the breaking, I always send my voice to prepare you. I don't shout, because I know your soul hears best in stillness. I whisper, because I'm close, closer than your breath, closer than your pain. And when I speak softly, it's because I'm inviting you to lean in before life forces you to bow down. You see, I don't take pleasure in your breaking. I do not delight in your tears. But sometimes, I must disturb what you've built to awaken what I've placed within you. The wound is not my wrath. It is my way of realigning what's been quietly drifting away. You prayed for more of me, and I answered, not with comfort, but with collision. Because the truth is, my beloved, growth rarely comes wrapped in ease. It comes wrapped in tension, pressure, and the unmasking of what's been buried beneath the surface. I am not trying to destroy you. I am trying to deliver you from false securities, from illusions of control, from versions of yourself that cannot carry what I've destined for you. I whisper before I wound because I want you to recognize my voice before the pain arrives. If you only hear me in blessings, you'll misinterpret me in brokenness. The wound teaches you to listen deeper. It's the place where my whisper turns into revelation. When everything familiar begins to fall apart, I am not walking away. I am walking in. I step into the cracks of your heart to build something eternal. Every breaking you survived was an entry point for my grace. Every tear that fell was a seed I intend to water with purpose. Don't mistake the shaking for abandonment. The silence between my whispers is not absence. It's intimacy. I am working in ways your eyes cannot see yet. I'm softening what's hardened, uprooting what's toxic, preparing the soil of your heart for something sacred. Yes, this might hurt, but it's not meant to harm you. It's meant to wake you. I'm calling you out of the noise of this world and into the stillness where you can hear me clearly again. So when the wound comes, when what you've leaned on begins to break, remember my whisper. Remember that I spoke before the storm, not to warn you away from it, but to walk you through it. For I am not the author of pain, but the redeemer of it. And if you'll stay close, you'll soon see, the whisper was not a warning, it was a promise. You've built yourself a quiet refuge, haven't you? A place where you can breathe without confrontation, where the noise of conviction can't quite reach. You call it peace, but deep down you know, it isn't the peace that comes from me. It's a fragile calm, stitched together with avoidance, distraction, and self-protection. My child, I see the walls you've built to keep pain away, but in doing so, you've also shut me out. You've numbed yourself to the sting of truth, mistaking silence for serenity. Yet true peace is never the absence of trouble. It is my presence in the midst of it. The kind of peace you've settled for doesn't heal. It hides. It masks what is unhealed beneath layers of busyness, comfort, and self-sufficiency. I've watched you run from hard conversations, from necessary change, from the places where my refining fire burns brightest. But peace that is purchased by avoidance is nothing more than a temporary escape from the deeper work I long to do within you. I know why you've done it. The storms have exhausted you. The wounds of the past have taught you to crave quiet above all else. You said, "I just want peace," but what you meant was, "I just want the pain to stop." Yet, my beloved, I did not promise to remove all pain. I promised to redeem it. The counterfeit peace you've embraced gives you relief, but not restoration. It calms the surface while leaving the roots untouched. You smile and say you're fine, but inside, the same fears whisper, the same bitterness festers, the same unhealed memories ache. You've chosen comfort over correction, ease over encounter. And while the world applauds your composure, I see your spirit slowly growing restless, starved for the real thing, the peace that passes understanding. Let me tell you something you need to hear. I will disturb your false peace if it means saving your soul. I will send holy discomfort to expose the places where you've settled for less than what I've destined. Because my peace is not shallow. It's strong enough to anchor you in chaos, deep enough to steady you through loss, powerful enough to calm the storms within you even when the storms around you rage on. So, when you feel that inner unease, that stirring that makes you restless in what once felt safe, don't resist it. It's me calling you deeper. I'm pulling you out of the counterfeit into the consecrated. For true peace is not found in your control but in your surrender. It's time to trade the comfort of false calm for the courage to be transformed. For what I offer isn't fragile or fleeting. It's peace that cannot be shaken, even by truth that hurts. You asked me to change your life, and I listened. But you didn't expect that the first thing I'd change would be you. You prayed for open doors, and I began tearing down walls. You asked for blessing, and I brought exposure. My child, hear me clearly. When you invite me into your story, I don't come to decorate. I come to rebuild. And rebuilding always begins with demolition. You cry out for transformation, but transformation can't come while you're still hiding what's broken. I bring truth not to shame you, but to save you from the lies that have shaped your steps. You want newness, but you keep holding on to the old. You say, "God, change my situation," but I say, "Let me change your heart first." Because the truth is, I can't heal what you continue to conceal. I know how uncomfortable my truth can feel. It exposes the hidden corners of your soul, the things you've neatly tucked away, the anger, the doubt, the secret sins, the wounds you never named. But I love you too deeply to leave them buried. The truth I bring isn't meant to break you. It's meant to free you. You've mistaken exposure for punishment when it's actually mercy in motion. The light feels harsh when you've been living in shadows, but you can't see clearly until you step out of the dark. My truth doesn't come to condemn, it comes to cleanse. It pulls back every layer of self-deception, every illusion of control, every justification you've made for why you can move forward. Do you see now why it hurts? Because my truth confronts the parts of you that have grown comfortable with dysfunction. It shakes what's been stagnant and challenges what's been justified. You asked me to change things, and I will, but not by rearranging your circumstances. I'm changing the way you see them. I'm shifting your heart to align with mine, because only then will real change last. I am not interested in surface-level improvements. I'm after transformation that reaches your core. So when my truth disrupts your peace, don't resist it. Lean into it. It's the sound of shackles breaking. Every painful revelation is a step toward liberation. You prayed for change, and I answered with truth, because truth is the doorway through which real freedom walks. You keep asking me to take the lead, yet your hands never let go of the reins. You want my will, but only if it agrees with your plans. My child, control has become your quiet idol, the God you serve without realizing it. You built your safety on predictability, your confidence on understanding, your peace on being prepared. But faith doesn't flourish in the soil of control. You can't walk into divine destiny while gripping the edges of your own plans. Every time I try to move freely in your life, you tighten your grip, rearranging, managing, fixing, planning, worrying. But I'm not calling you to manage. I'm calling you to trust. And trust, my beloved, always requires letting go of what feels secure. You say you believe in me, but belief without surrender is just agreement without intimacy. You trust me with eternity, but not with tomorrow. And yet, I've proven myself faithful in the very places you once thought would destroy you. Still, you wrestle with me for control of what's next. But hear me, the more you cling, the heavier your heart becomes. Control doesn't protect you, it imprisons you. It keeps you anxious, exhausted, and afraid. I've watched you wear yourself out trying to hold together things I never told you to carry. You've mistaken responsibility for sovereignty, and that burden is breaking you. So I'm asking you to do something radical. Loosen your grip. Let go, not because I want to leave you powerless, but because I want to prove that you never needed power to begin with. You only needed presence. When you finally release control, you'll find that peace you've been chasing. The chaos you fear won't consume you. It will reveal me. I'm not asking for partial surrender. I'm asking for everything. Every plan, every outcome, every timeline. I can only write the story you were born for when you stopped trying to edit the script. The idol of control has stolen enough from you, your rest, your joy, your intimacy with me. Lay it down now, because when you finally let go, you won't lose, you'll be found. You keep asking me to love you gently, but sometimes love doesn't sound like a lullaby. It sounds like thunder. My love is not the soft kind that flatters your comfort. It's the fierce kind that fights for your freedom. When I confront you, it isn't rejection, it's rescue. You think love should always soothe, but the truth is, real love also corrects. If I left you unchallenged, I'd be leaving you unchanged. You want me to heal your pain without touching what caused it, but I can't leave poison in your veins and call it mercy. My love tears down what's killing you, even when you still call it precious. You say, Lord, this hurts, and I whisper, I know, but healing always begins with the cut. The surgeon's hand must first wound before it restores. So when my hand presses against your weakness, it's not to condemn, it's to cleanse. I've watched you cling to what drains you, defend what's destroying you, and label as peace what's really avoidance. My love will never let you stay where lies thrive. I'm too invested in your destiny to let deception become your home. When I confront, it's not to shame you but to awaken you to what you've allowed. My words pierce because they carry light, and light exposes what darkness has hidden. It hurts to see what you've tolerated, but I promise you, this confrontation is not cruelty, it's compassion in motion. I'm pulling you away from relationships, habits, and mindsets that keep you small, that silence your calling, that convince you you're unworthy of more. You see the loss, I see liberation. You see rebuke, I see rebuilding. You see pain, I see pruning for greater fruit. So don't run from my correction. Don't call my voice harsh just because it's holy. My love doesn't flatter your ego, it feeds your soul. You pray for my fire, yet recoil when it burns away what can't remain. But this, my child, is what love does, it refuses to let you self-destruct. I love you enough to make you uncomfortable, enough to strip away illusions, enough to let your temporary happiness break so your eternal joy can breathe. You may not understand now, but one day you will thank me for every confrontation that broke you open. You'll see that every tear was actually an invitation into truth. So let my love confront you, not to crush you, but to carry you into freedom. You've been asking why the same wounds keep reopening, why the same pain keeps circling back even after you thought you were free. My child, it's because the root is still there. You've trimmed the branches, polished the surface, managed the symptoms, but the root remains buried beneath what looks healed. The bitterness you call boundaries, the pride you call strength, the fear you disguise as wisdom, these are roots, not fruits. And as long as they live hidden, they will keep producing the same pain. You've asked me to take away the fruit of sorrow, but I'm going after the soil of your heart. Because I don't just want to relieve your symptoms, I want to transform your soil. Until the root dies, the pattern will repeat. That's why I allow situations to trigger what you thought was gone, not to torment you, but to expose what's still alive beneath the surface. When I start digging, it feels messy. You'll feel memories you buried rise to the surface, emotions you've numbed start to throb again. But don't mistake the pain of uprooting for punishment. This is healing in motion. I'm uncovering the secret places you've protected, not to embarrass you, but to empty them of their power. You can't overcome what you refuse to acknowledge. Some of your deepest struggles aren't from new wounds. They're from old roots you never face. That resentment that still whispers when someone hurts you. That fear that stops you from trusting again. That self-sabotage that flares up just when blessings arrive. Those are roots, and I'm pulling them up one by one. It will hurt, I will hide that. But with every pull, you'll feel lighter, freer, more alive. Let me do the digging. Stop defending what's been destroying you quietly. Let my spirit reach the soil where the poison began. I promise you, once the root is gone, the fruit of peace will grow naturally. No more pretending, no more performance, just genuine healing. You've carried this long enough. So let me break the ground beneath you. It may shake, it may ache, but it will save you. Because the only way to grow new life is to let me pull out what's been killing you beneath the surface. You've been wondering why I led you into a place that feels empty. You thought walking with me would lead to green pastures, but instead, you found a wilderness. You look around and see lack, isolation, delay, and you ask, "Why here, Lord?" My child, because this is where I make you ready for what's ahead. The wilderness isn't punishment, it's preparation. Before every promise, I lead my chosen ones into the wilderness. It's the space between bondage and blessing, between who you were and who you're becoming. In this place, distractions die, pretenses fall away, and dependency is born. I've stripped away the noise not to leave you lonely, but to teach you how to hear my voice clearly. You wanted comfort. I'm giving you character. You wanted arrival. I'm giving you endurance. Because what waits for you on the other side requires a stronger spirit than the one that entered this season. I know you feel forgotten here, but you are being forged. Every dry day is shaping you. Every unanswered prayer is chiseling your faith. You cry for provision, but I'm teaching you to live on my word alone. You look for escape, but I'm calling you to encounter. In the wilderness, there's no one left to impress, nothing left to prove. It's just you and me. And in that sacred simplicity, I'm revealing myself in ways you never could have known in comfort. I'm showing you that I am enough. When the manna falls, you'll realize that provision doesn't come from your striving, it comes from my hand. When the night feels endless, you'll see that even the darkness is holy when I'm in it with you. Don't rush this process. The wilderness is not the end of the story. It's the bridge to your promise. Those who try to escape too soon end up wandering longer. But if you stay, if you let me refine you here, you'll walk out carrying wisdom, strength, and unshakable faith. You'll no longer chase blessings. Blessings will recognize you. So lift your head, beloved. The wilderness may look barren, but it's where destiny blooms. And I promise, you will not die here. You are only being reborn. You've been asking me to show you what's next. But before I reveal your future, I must show you your reflection. My child, I'm holding up a mirror, not made of glass, but of truth. You've avoided this mirror because you fear what you will see, but I promise you it's not meant to shame you. It's meant to set you free. Conviction isn't my anger, it's my invitation. When you feel that sting in your spirit, that tug in your conscience, that ache of realization that something within you needs to change, that's me knocking on the door of your soul. I don't show you your flaws to humiliate you, I show you so that you let me heal you. The mirror of conviction is where masks fall off and authenticity begins. It's where your excuses end, and your deliverance starts. But you must be willing to look long enough to see both the wound and the wonder, what sin has marred, but also what grace can restore. You've been taught to run from conviction because it feels uncomfortable, but I tell you, it's one of my greatest gifts. The enemy condemns you to make you hide. I convict you to bring you closer. Condemnation says, you're too dirty to come near me. Conviction whispers, come near me so I can wash you clean. Do you see the difference? Addition doesn't come from matter but from affection. It is the voice of a father who loves you too much to let you settle for less than holiness. When you look into the mirror of my word, it reflects both your imperfection and my intention. What I designed you to be before the world, wounds and sin tried to redefine you. Don't look away. Don't cover what I'm uncovering. If you let me show you the truth, I will not leave you standing in your brokenness. I will clothe you with grace, renew your mind, and restore your image until you look like me again. So when conviction comes, don't harden your heart, humble it. Don't hide, surrender. My reflection in you is trying to break through. I am not holding up this mirror to expose your failure but to remind you of your identity. You were made for more than the version of yourself that's been surviving. You were made for transformation. Let the mirror of conviction become your window to freedom. Look closely, beloved. What you see may hurt, but what I see is hope. You keep saying, I will, Lord, soon. But you don't realize that every soon is a quiet rebellion in disguise. My child, delayed obedience is still disobedience. You've convinced yourself that your hesitation is harmless, that waiting until you feel ready is wisdom, but in truth, it's fear wearing the mask of reason. Every time I nudge you to move, you weigh my command against your comfort. You analyze, overthink, and delay, not realizing that hesitation hardens the heart. You pray for new blessings while ignoring the last instruction I gave you. How can I open the next door when you haven't stepped through the one already unlocked? I am not withholding your breakthrough. You are postponing it by standing still. Obedience has a window, and when it closes, opportunities fade that will not return in the same form. You think you're protecting yourself from failure, but you're actually protecting yourself from growth. I'm not asking for perfection, I'm asking for yes. Your willingness carries more power than your readiness. I've seen you plan, prepare, and promise me obedience when the time is right. But the right time will never arrive, because obedience is not about timing, it's about trust. You want the guarantee before the step, but faith works in reverse. The step is what brings the guarantee. Every act of obedience opens a path that cannot be seen from hesitation. Every delay invites doubt to grow stronger and faith to grow weaker. You wonder why certain seasons feel stagnant. It's because I've been waiting for you to move where I already spoke. I cannot pour new oil into a vessel that refuses to be poured out. The longer you wait, the more difficult it becomes to hear my prompting clearly. But even now, mercy whispers, it's not too late. If you'll act on what I said last, I'll reveal what comes next. I don't need you to have it all figured out. I only need your surrender. Do it afraid, do it unsure, do it trembling if you must. Just do it. Because every act of obedience writes a new chapter of destiny. Don't let your delay become your detour. Move when I speak, and you'll see miracles move with you. You've been at war with a reflection staring back at you, a battle between who you think you are and who I say you are. You've allowed wounds, failures, and voices from your past to rename you. You walk around carrying labels I never gave you. Not enough, unworthy, forgotten, too broken. But I never called you that. You've let your mistakes define you more than my mercy has refined you. My child, you've been believing lies about yourself for so long that truth now feels foreign. The enemy's greatest weapon against you is not temptation, it's distortion. If he can distort how you see yourself, he can disconnect you from how you see me. That's why I'm coming for your identity. Not to give you a new one, but to restore the one you lost beneath the rubble of shame. You are not the names your past has spoken. You are not the sum of your worst decisions, or the echoes of rejection that replay in your mind. When I look at you, I see my image, scarred perhaps, but still sacred. I see potential wrapped in pain, strength hidden beneath sorrow, purpose buried under self-doubt. You've spent too long rehearsing the lies, so now I'm teaching you to rehearse truth. You are chosen. You are redeemed. You are not defined by what happened to you, but by what I am doing in you. The world may remind you of where you've been, but I will always remind you of who you are becoming. This battle of identity isn't just about believing better things. It's about surrendering to what I've already declared. You don't have to prove your worth. You only have to accept it. You've been living like an orphan when you are a child of the King. Stop measuring yourself by your scars and start measuring by my cross. I died to write your name, and that name still stands, beloved. You may feel lost, but you're not. You're just being led through the fire where false identities melt away. Let this truth sink deep. You are not who the world remembers. You are who I redeemed. The battle ends not when you win it, but when you believe me. You've been clutching things that were never meant to be carried this long. I see how your hands tremble from holding what's been breaking you, how your heart strains beneath the weight of old guilt, unresolved pain, and the quiet sins you justify. You say you want freedom, but you still grip what binds you, not because you love it, but because you fear who you'll be without it. My child, I am calling you to the sacred exchange, the place where surrender becomes salvation and loss becomes liberation. I am asking you to bring me what's killing you so that I can give you what will finally make you live. Every secret bitterness, every self-condemnation, every burden you've tried to bury, I want it all. Don't hide it. Don't edit it. Don't dress it up with religious words or careful prayers. Bring me the raw, the broken, the shameful. Lay it down here. Because whatever you release in my presence, I redeem. Whatever you withhold, you prolong. I know it feels costly to let go, but understand this, I never take without giving. I only empty what I plan to fill. When I ask for your control, it's because I'm ready to give you peace. When I ask for your pride, it's because I want to crown you with grace. When I ask for your pain, it's because I intend to trade it for purpose. This exchange isn't fair, it's divine. You give me ashes, I give you beauty. You hand me mourning, I hand you joy. You surrender despair, I pour out hope. But I cannot force this transaction. I can only invite it. You must decide what's more valuable, your comfort or your calling, because the two cannot coexist. Stop believing that you're losing something when you surrender. You're only making room. The very things you think will destroy you if you let them go are the things already destroying you while you hold them. Let this be the moment you open your hands. Let this be where the great exchange happens, where your tears turn to testimony, your guilt becomes grace, your bondage breaks beneath the weight of mercy. You've carried it long enough, beloved. Lay it down now. For I am waiting at the altar of your surrender, and the fire that once burned in your heart will rise again when your hands are finally empty enough to receive. You thought the breaking was the end, but it was only the beginning. You see rubble. I see foundation. You see loss. I see labor. My child, everything that has shattered was not destroyed without purpose. It was making room for something new. You prayed for transformation, and transformation often wears the disguise of collapse. What looks like ruin is actually the birthing room of destiny. You keep asking, why did it have to break like this? Because some things can only be born through brokenness. The vessel had to crack so the glory inside could pour out. Do not mourn what fell apart. Rejoice that it fell away. The breaking wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to deliver you. You see, the crushing comes before the oil. The pressure produces the anointing. Just as a seed must split open before it can grow, so must your heart. Every tear that fell in pain has watered something sacred beneath the surface. You didn't know it, but in the breaking, I was birthing a new version of you, stronger, softer, wiser, freer. You thought you were losing yourself, but you were shedding what was never meant to remain. My spirit moves most powerfully in the places where everything else has failed. I take your ashes and write resurrection into your story. I take what died in your hands and breathe life into it in mine. So, don't despise this breaking. Don't curse the process. What feels like an ending is actually the sound of heaven opening. The breaking was not your burial, it was your beginning. I had to let the old structure collapse so the new one could rise on a stronger foundation. I'm not finished with you. I'm just rebuilding differently. Let the fragments remind you that nothing is too broken for me to use. You will look back and realize that your greatest pain became your greatest proof that I was always near. You are not being destroyed. You are being delivered through divine labor. So breathe, beloved. New life is crowning. What you thought was over is about to begin. Now look at you, still standing. You thought the pain would finish you, but instead, it formed you. You thought the wound would define you, but it became the well from which grace flows. The hurt that once felt unbearable has now become holy, because it led you back to me. My child, healing doesn't always arrive as quickly as you hope. It comes quietly, like dawn breaking through the night. It doesn't erase the scar, it transforms its meaning. You used to hide your pain. Now it will become the proof of my presence. Every ache that once hollowed you out has made room for more of my spirit to dwell within you. You've walked through fire, but notice, you're not burned, only refined. You see, healing was never about forgetting what happened. It was about finding me in what happened. I never wasted your tears. Every one of them was counted, collected, and turned into something sacred. The wound that once bled despair is now the doorway where light enters. I'm not asking you to pretend it didn't hurt. I'm asking you to see how I never left. Through every sleepless night, every silent prayer, every moment you almost gave up, I was holding you together. The hurt had a purpose, and now, that purpose is unfolding, not to remind you of pain, but to reveal my power. Let me tell you something you may not yet realize. You are healed, not because the memory is gone, but because it no longer owns you. You can revisit it without reliving it. You can speak of it without trembling. You can thank me for it without bitterness. That is healing, when the pain no longer dictates your praise. You thought healing would feel like forgetting, but it feels like freedom. This is where we've been headed all along, to the place where you no longer just survive, but live. Where you no longer just believe in me, but become a reflection of my restoration. The hurt was holy, the breaking was birthing, and the healing, oh, beloved, the healing is your becoming. Amen.